Hey everyone, welcome back. This is another anime review. This is Shiki. Okay. Shiki was originally based off of a novel, actually, that was released in 1998 and reprinted in 2002. There's two manga based on it, but the anime was directed by Tetsuo Amino and by Studio Daume. I've never heard of them before. Have to check out more of their work, I guess. And it originally ran from July 8th, 2010 to December 30th, 2010, with a total of 22 episodes in the end. 2 bonus episodes included on the video release. I don't have the DVD, so I really don't know what they're all about. I assume they're just standard, like, random OVA episodes or something, though. Anyways, though, before I get into this series, I just want to say I thought that this series was actually really good, although I did have a few issues with it. Okay. That being said, let's get into it then. I'm really tired. I just want to get this video out there before I go to bed for tonight. Actually, technically, it's almost 3 o'clock in the morning right now. But anyways, though, Shiki tells a very interesting story. It's about vampires, which aren't too common in anime, by the way. But it takes a very unique spin on them, where it doesn't completely demonize the vampires, also known as Okiagari or Shiki in this series. And in turn, it actually works to make them feel sympathetic, and it does it very well, I feel, okay? Seriously. Especially that little girl. Oh my god. I felt so sorry for her. Okay. It takes place in a small village where mysterious deaths start occurring. Okay. Deaths that of people that are well known, since later on some that aren't so well known. It starts out with Megumi Shimuse, and it slowly breaks out into this like pandemic where nobody knows why people are dying. However, it's found out later on that it's because of this new family that moved in, called the Shikis, who is a family of vampires, basically. Now, their exact origins is kind of unknown. All we know is that the little girl who seems to be at the head of it was trapped in a coffin one day, even though she was alive, and she was saved, but she was already a vampire, and so she killed many people. And I'm guessing she came across her family and turned them into vampires, except for the male head of the family, because he's still a human, and for some reason he doesn't seem to be able to turn into a vampire. No clue why, though. But either way, though. So, the series is very interesting because it has a large cast of characters. And, first off, seems to be good, and there's lots of good people on both sides, the humans and the vampires, okay? That's one of the biggest things here that separates it from just any normal, like, monsters killing human story, you know, because this isn't just a standard monsters killing human story. It has a lot more depth to it than just that. Another unique thing that separates this from most stories is that the writers were never afraid to kill off characters that you really like. The writers were never afraid to kill them off. Even the main character dies. Well, who's assumed to be the main character? That one blue-haired guy. I think for the majority of the series, he's assumed to be the main character. I'm not sure if the series actually has a main character, but still, he even dies. So, like, way over half the cast of this series dies by the end of it, okay? I mean, there's no bias here at all, okay? There's really not. And I really love that about the series. Now, if we're going to talking about character, well, if we're talking about the plot here, in terms of the plot, it's unique and not unique at the same time. What I mean by that is that it obviously has to do with vampires, and that's something that not very unique because it's been done over and over and over again. Okay. Now, in terms of the anime, I'll kind of forgive it because the anime came out in 2010, but the original novel came out in 1998. So it's about 16 years old. Um, the anime the anime itself is obviously just an adaptation of that. I'm not sure how well good of an adaptation it is, but still. Okay, but it is unique in a few senses. First off, it's in anime, and you don't see vampire stories too much in anime. I know there's the Vampire Knight series. I'm talking about like in general. You don't see too many vampire stories in anime. Okay, so that's one reason why it was unique. Secondly, like I mentioned before, they really build up a lot of these vampire characters and make you sympathize with them, especially that little girl. Okay, I'm trying to find her name here. Okay, yeah, Sunako Kirishiki. She's a 13-year-old girl who moves to the Kamemasa mansion atop the hill with her family. She's a very wise girl since she is the oldest of the Shiki, even though she doesn't really look it. How she became a Shiki is vague, having been locked in a closet and fed a stream of victims for several years before escaping. So basically, after it became a Shiki, obviously people panicked. She was locked up and basically tortured, okay, until she finally escaped. And there's this whole thing too, with actually questioning God, even, and has God really forsaken them, like, for no reason at all? Yes, that question's actually brought up in the series, and I think done very well, to the point where even the head priest in the final episode turns his back on God in order to be with Sunako. Okay, because, really. And the head priest was actually one of my favorite characters, Seishin Muroi. He was the local priest of Sotoba, as well as an author of several novels, novels of which Sunako was really big fans of. Okay, let's see here. What other characters are good? Natsuno Yuki is a 15-year-old boy that's the blue-haired boy I was telling you about before, who may or may not be the main character of the series. A 15-year-old boy who lives and attends school in Sotoba. He was probably my favorite character. And the reason I say that is mainly because of his personality. In the sense that even after he dies and rises up as one of the Okigari, he states that although he's trying to take down the Shiki, that's just because he doesn't like them. It's not necessarily because he favors he's on the human side, which kind of makes sense in a way because they'd obviously hunt him down anyway since he is an Okigari. But still, it makes him my favorite character. Okay, there's also a Toshio Ozai, who's the director of the hospital in Sotoba. Toshio resigned from University Hospital, returning to take up his father's position when he died. This is probably the most not my favorite. You know what? Screw it. Toshio is my favorite character. He's actually childhood friends with Seishin the priest, but Toshio is such an interesting character, okay? Because he goes from this like doctor who really wants to just save every single patient he has, to someone who's literally willing to go on a mass murder spree of the Okigari, covered in their blood, okay? Killing anyone who gets in his way, pretty much, and tying them down, torturing them, just to figure out how to get rid of them permanently. I mean, I don't want to say he completely loses his grip on his sanity, because I don't really think he does, but he definitely, I think he lost something, okay? I think that this incident really messed with him a lot psychologically. Again, he didn't lose a complete grip on his sanity, I don't think, but still, okay? But he's definitely my favorite character, right? Natsuno's really pretty cool, but after thinking about it for a few more seconds, he's definitely my favorite character, Toshio the Doctor, because he was just such a cool fucking character. I just loved watching him on screen. Okay. And there's lots of other characters that make lots of appearances. There's Megumi, Shimizu, a 15-year-old girl attending the same school as Natsuno. Megumi although hates living in the village and longs for a city life. She has a one-sided crush on Natsuno and often daydreams of a relationship with him, which is kind of weird because before she dies, Natsuno doesn't seem to care about her, but after she dies, after finding out she's risen up, Natsuno seems kind of sad, as in maybe he actually did care about her. It's kind of weird, okay? And there's lots of other characters that I'm not really going to go into in this review because it would take way too long. And there's just so much to say about them. Like, okay, I'll do a few more. Okay, there's Akira Tanaka. He's Kaori's younger brother, and in the 7th grade. He was another one of my favorite characters because, this character is a classic example of someone who knows or at least suspects what's going on and is trying to tell everyone. And nobody fucking believes him. Okay? Nobody fucking believes him. Up until the last few fucking episodes when the doctor tells them and they finally decide to take fucking action. I mean, the doctor is one of the few that after a while kind of clued into it as well. Same with Akira and Kaori and Natsune. So the 4 of them I think are really the smartest in the series because they're the 4 that kind of clued into this pretty quickly. Okay? While everyone else didn't believe them, So I really enjoyed Akira, and I really enjoyed Kaori's character as well. I thought they were both really good characters. Kaori obviously being Akira's sister. So that's it. Pretty much it for the characters. There are lots of other characters in the series, but I don't really think any of them are too noteworthy to really discuss. I didn't really have any characters that I didn't like, except for that one, pointy-chinned asshole. What's his name? I can't find his name very well. Whatever, he's the one pointy-chinned asshole. I didn't like him at all, but other than that, I don't think there was a single character that I particularly didn't like. Even that guy, that really buff guy at the end who almost killed Tsuneko. Alright? He seemed like an asshole on the surface, but it's really his line of dialogue which really made him likable to me. In the sense that I don't think he was killing them out of prejudice. Or fear. I think he was killing him because he realized that, this village is a community, and the community stands up for each other. And that ties into one of the biggest themes of this series, which is that neither side is good or evil. They're just both fighting for their lives. Which is why I think this series is so interesting and so fascinating. Okay. Aside from the plot and characters, though, I will talk about some other stuff in this review, obviously. I did like the art. The art looked different, that's for sure. It didn't have as much detail in it as most anime do, but I actually kind of like that because it gave it a bit of a different feel for once. And just the look of it overall, I really like. The animation, for the most part, it wasn't much to speak of, except for these few select scenes. But the animation could have definitely been a lot better than it was. The music was really fucking amazing, seriously. The music was really good, okay? The music gave off this foreboding atmosphere when it needed to, and when it did it so fucking well. Seriously, the music in this series was amazing in the vast majority of the scenes, okay? I do have to say that right now. Let's see here. What else? Yes. I really love both the openings and both the endings. Not really much to say about them though. But overall, do I recommend this series? Absolutely. I thought it was really good. If you're looking for a... Oh, wait, one more complaint I do have to mention. The ending. Now, I think I've stated enough in my videos how much I hate open-ended endings in any story. They are just an excuse for a creator who's too lazy or incapable of writing a good ending. That's what they are. Period. And this is no fucking excuse. The ending really pissed me off. If they wanted to have a sad ending, which its ending was sad, but that's perfectly fine. But end it. Seriously, this is an incomplete story as far as I'm concerned, okay? Period. Anyways, though, do I recommend this anime? Absolutely. I thought it was really fucking good. I cannot recommend it enough. It's different, definitely, and I really think it's worth a watch, okay? So anyways, overall, I hope you enjoyed this review, guys. See you guys. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.